baritone guitars, crush that subscribe button and hang out.
Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm the Bun. This is the Baritone Obsessed. This is a show where we talk about guitars, gear, and techniques for going a lot lower with your heavy music. Today we are playing around with the Ibanez SRC6. It is a modern 30-inch bass 6 type of guitar, and we're gonna try and find out if it's any good for sick crushing riffs. For our first test comparison, we are going to compare it with the Ibanez RGIB6. The RGIB6 is 28 inches in scale, and the SRC6 is 30 inches in scale. Both guitars are tuned to low G standard, and we're recording with a bridge pickup in both, and the SRC6 EQ is flat. The amp tone in this comparison, I'm using my standard guitar patch that I use in Bias Effects. It is based on a rectifier with a tube screamer and all that kind of stuff. For our second test, we are going to compare the SRC6 against the Jazzmaster. Both guitars are 30 inches in scale. For strings, we are using the D'Addario 24-84 bass 6 string sets, exactly the same strings on both guitars, and both guitars are tuned down to low bass E, which is standard bass 6 tuning. I'm using the same amp tone that I used for the previous comparison. It is my rectifier patch in Bias Effects Pro. And yeah, nothing special at all. The SRC6 EQ is flat, and both guitars are recorded with the bridge pickup. Our third comparison, bass. How does it play as a bass? This is a pretty common thing where people will use these bass 6 type instruments to do double duty, to do some bass stuff as well. So how does the SRC6 compare as a bass against a 34-inch scale bass? For this comparison, I'm using the Ibanez ATK 800 Premium 4-string bass. Both instruments are tuned to low standard E. We're listening to the bridge pickups of both, and they are both flat in the EQ. The tone that we're using is just gonna be a straight bass tone. And how do they fare with just a regular old bass tone? So what's special, what's noteworthy about this instrument? The number one thing that pops out for me is the feel, the reach. A lot of these 30-inch scale guitars, they feel really long. If you have a short reach, you might have difficulty playing a lot of these instruments, or they just might feel awkward. The SRC6, it is the shortest feeling, most comfortable playing long scale baritone that I have ever played. Number 2, related to that reach and feel, is playability. The actual design of the string spacing and the reach and all those things combined. The neck profile is very slim and fast. The fret ends are very smooth. The overall feel of the instrument is just like very slick, very easy to play. Number 3 is the build quality. Build quality is definitely noteworthy. I've never played a guitar in this price range that was this slick. Attention to detail is just over the top in every aspect of it. I was really impressed. Number 4, this guitar is a lot better at a bass type roll than most bass 6s. Most bass 6s have a guitar oriented pickup in them. The pickups are very bass centric. They are the EMG passive soap bars. The preamp is active, but the pickups themselves are passive. The pickup characteristics for guitar are very bright and very strong mids, extremely strong mids. There is a slight compression to them. It is that EMG kind of compressed sound, but it is very good for all of the rolls that this guitar needs to play. It is very controllable. Things to consider and things to look out for. The only thing to look out for, I think, would be the pickups. And even though the pickups sound really good for all of the jobs they are supposed to do, they are very specific to the instrument. The pickup routes, the pickup housing, all of that stuff. If you want to replace these pickups with, say, the Marzio Titans or something like that, some regular humbuckers, you're gonna have a hard time retrofitting the guitar with that kind of a thing. Chad Woods is one of the admins over at Baritone Obsessed Facebook group. If you're not in the group, join the group, answer the questions to get in. But Chad has 2 SRC6s and he is retrofitting one of them right now with some kind of a humbucker, passive humbucker guitar type pickup, and he's having a hard time with the housing and whatever. He is a machinist and he can machine things. I'm not sure where it's at, but I know that he's been wrestling with it. So that's something to think about. So who's this guitar for? People with a shorter reach that want an easy playing, very versatile bass 6 baritone. Those looking for an instrument to cover both bass and guitar rolls. People looking for an inspiring instrument that is in its own unique space.
You can find all the links down below in the description, and if you're stoked on all this baritone stuff, subscribe and hang out.
If you enjoyed this channel and you'd like to see more content more frequently, you can help that along in 3 different ways. Number 1 is Patreon, and pledges from Patreon go directly back into the development of music and the channel itself. There are 3 different pledge tiers at Patreon. There is a $1 to $4 tier, a $5 to $9 tier, and a $10 and up tier. Sky's the limit on that one. Tier 1, you get early access to all music and videos. Tier 2, you get that same early access plus a credit at the end of every video. With Tier 3, you get the same first 2 perks as well as access to exclusive content only on Patreon. Videos that are typically behind the scenes and explaining how things are done around the channel. The second way to support more content more frequently would be merch. If you have photos of you wearing your t-shirts, send them to this email here and I'll put them up on the screen. And the third way to support more content more frequently would be music. I have music available for download and stream through all of the places that you can download and stream music. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any comments, leave them down below. I read all of them and I respond to them on the 411, which is another show here on the channel. Thanks for hanging out with me in this video. I hope to see you in the next video.